Catholic pirate.
You're a Catholic pirate? You're just saying that. You don't know any Catholic pirates.
I don't know any Catholic pirates.
There were many Catholic pirates, but we're going to start because it's the Halloween extravaganza, and I probably should have started by saying gather the kids around because it'll be a great show for the kids. Is that true? I don't even know if that's true. But we're going to talk about our 5 top Halloween movies. Edgar, you'll give yours and I'll give mine, or will we go back and forth? What's the system that you want to use for our Halloween movies?
Let's do this. Let's start with our ranking. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll give ours on our 5th place, 4th place, just to kind of compare where we are.
Okay, but I have bad news for you.
What's that?
I forgot to send it into the studio. I have to do it by memory now. I think I can do it by memory. I wrote up the list, little comment about each one, and then I don't have it here in my notes.
Of course.
Okay.
All right. Shall we begin?
Yes, I would like to mention the best ghost movie ever made at some point, which Jeff, who's doing the soundboard, reminded me of. He brought back just a wonderful feeling of remembering my childhood, because this was a movie that came out in 1968 when I was 4. The first time I probably saw it, I was probably sitting in front of the television with my brothers and sisters, and it was on Wonderful World of Disney. That's my guess, because that's how you saw movies.
Really?
Well, I didn't go to the movies when I was 4, so I'm assuming I saw it later. So it was probably a few years later when it came on Wonderful World of Disney. Just the greatest ghost movie out there.
Okay.
I'll throw that in. That's a bonus feature, because I want to give Jeff credit for that.
Okay, but that's going to come at the end.
No, whenever you want. I don't care. I'll do whatever you tell me, Edgar. Whatever you tell me.
All right, so we're going to start off.
All right.
Go down the list. All right, number 5.
Oh, we start with number 5.
Start with number 5 until we hit our number 1.
Okay.
All right, I'll go. You want to go first? Go first. You're number 5.
My number 5 Halloween movie.
Yes.
Now, it's not a Halloween movie in any sense.
So completely throw the thumbnail and the title out.
Well, it has one scary scene in it.
Okay.
And so I thought, that counts. And it's a great movie by a great artist.
Okay.
And people are not going to like that I called Paul Rubens a great artist. But he a tremendous artist. He created something like a character like no one else. People are laughing at you outside the studio, right there. Deanna, that's so rude of you to laugh
okay. She's okay.
At me or him. You didn't even ask me who I am for
Oh,
Halloween.
yeah.
I said you're a pirate. You never had, because this is a Halloween costume.
It is a Halloween costume. Do you want to see if anybody could take a guess in the comment section?
Yes, guess who I am. Go ahead and guess who I am, and then we'll get to it later, who my costume is. All right, so it has a scary scene in it with Large Marge. But do you know what movie I'm talking about? Yeah, Jeff knows. Just one of the best movies ever made, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Wait,
is
that the one where they steal his bike and he has to go look for it?
No, that's Pee-wee's Big Top, I think. Or no, that's Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Sorry, I got the.
I gotta say this. As a kid, I remember that was on reruns on TV.
Yeah,
it's a scary movie.
There are parts of it.
It's frightening.
The Large Marge part is very scary. So I thought, well, this is going to count as a Halloween movie, and I can get it in there. One of my favorite scenes in the history of movies is him proving that he's in Texas. Jeff, do you remember the scene where he has to prove that he's in Texas?
The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas. Everyone stops and does that because, of course, if you're a Texan, Paul Rubens is a genius. So my number 5 Halloween movie, because it's got that scary scene in it with Large Marge, is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It's scary. It gave me nightmares as a kid.
A brilliant man. He made mistakes in his life. He admitted that they were mistakes. But we consider the art, not the artists, when we consider movies. And a great artist.
I started watching a documentary about Pee Wee Herman. I stopped about 15 minutes in. I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
Oh, really? Maybe I should have watched some of that before I chose it. But
yeah, I think it's a movie on HBO.
Pee-wee's Playhouse, one of the most unique things that ever aired on television. People don't remember this. When Pee-wee's Playhouse came out, adults watched that. Adults were watching Saturday morning television because it was it was just it was art. It was a work of art. I don't know how else to describe it.
All right. That's a good scary movie.
Edgar, your number 5 Halloween movie.
My number 5. Mine's a little more serious than yours.
I'm going to go while you're talking. I'm going to go on YouTube, see what people are saying. Go ahead.
I would say my number 5 is Nefarious.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait.
Jeff, have you seen that, Nefarious? It's theologically pretty good. It's one of those possession movies that recently came out. It's a pretty low budget film, but it got pretty popular over the last year. I remember there was a lot of breakdowns of the movie. So it's interesting if you like, possession movies.
Well, do you?
Psychological thrillers.
Do you like?
I do actually, yeah.
Because I don't. I'm not really a guy who ever enjoyed scary movies.
Really?
I just don't. They don't entertain me. They give me stress. Like,
Isn't that part of it?
it's like watching a Ben Stiller comedy. You know that it's all going to go wrong for Ben at some point, and that just gives me stress. I don't want to watch that. I don't. So, like, if I know, although there are scary movies that I have enjoyed,
Okay.
The Exorcist is one of them.
Okay.
But I just don't. It doesn't. I don't know. It's not entertaining to me. Almost all of my Halloween picks are comedies.
With horror elements to
Like
it.
even my Ghost movie, which I watched on Wonderful World of Disney, that's my bonus pick in honor of Jeff, it's a comedy. It's a very, very good comedy.
Okay.
All right, so
So
Nefarious.
Nefarious, yeah.
All right,
All right. That was my number 5.
I'm going by memory. Do I do my number 4?
Now you're number 4.
Also not a comedy.
Also not a comedy or
I mean, not a
Halloween
scary movie or
okay.
Halloween. It's got nothing to do with
so
Halloween.
you're completely off the theme.
No,
for
but it's
today.
weird enough that you might watch it at Halloween. It's got an element of weirdness to it.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe the movie The Lady Eve. But first of all,
Is this black and white film or what?
it is a black and white film. Yeah. What, I'm not allowed to do black and white films?
No, you're more than
Why are you laughing?
It's already scary thinking that it's a black and white film.
It's Henry Fonda and Barbara Stanwyck.
What is it called?
The Lady Eve.
Never
Barbara
heard of this.
Stanwyck, I have to say, Fonda is not great in this. He's only good. Stanwyck, unbelievable. One of the greatest actresses who ever lived. One of the most perfect screen actresses that God ever made.
You picked a comedy / romance for a.
I did. And I did for 2 reasons. One, it's so weird. It's a weird movie. I don't know how to describe it other than to say, first of all, you will watch it and you will fall in love with Barbara Stanwyck. It's impossible not to fall in love with Barbara Stanwyck watching this movie. And
You're naming people that I have no idea who they are.
if you've never seen a Barbara Stanwyck movie, you're not really an American male. There's something wrong with you. Like, she is the most wonderful
ask.
thing ever on this movie screen. So, but it's just so weird because she plays 2 different characters in the movie.
Okay.
And the guy in the movie can't tell the 2 characters apart, but they look exactly the same. They're the exact same person. She dresses differently and she talks differently. The movie does not work at all. It does not work at all, but it has one of the best closing lines of any movie I ever saw. Just watch the whole thing just for the last line and the look on her face when she says it.
Is that the reason why it's on this list, or what's the
No,
reason?
because it's weird.
Because it's weird.
Because
That's-
she
okay.
plays 2 different people
Okay.
that any normal. It's like Superman. Like, you know how Superman has the glasses and not glasses.
Yep.
And you go, that doesn't work at all. I have to completely pretend here because that, as a plot device, is the stupidest thing ever invented. Barbara Stanwyck doesn't even have glasses in this movie. Like, there's no difference between how she looks as this person and how she looks as this person, and still Henry Fonda can't tell them apart. I mean, he can't. He doesn't notice. I should say he only tells them apart. He doesn't notice that it's the same person. A stupid plot, but it makes for a wonderful movie. And Barbara Stanwyck is the greatest thing that was just the greatest. I love Barbara Stanwyck.
And Divine Mercy Catechetics is asking, what movie are you talking about again?
The Lady Eve.
The Lady Eve.
The Lady Eve. You're
And
going to
then-
have to get Turner Classic Movies in order to watch it.
Mr. B asks, does genre matter? No, it doesn't matter. I guess it really doesn't matter when it comes to Halloween movies. Not at this point.
I'm thinking about, I'm in the Halloween mood. I would want to watch this movie. You know, I don't know what Halloween makes me feel like having
fair.
a little weirdness and fun.
Okay.
And so Pee-wee's Big Adventure and The Lady Eve. The Lady Eve, not a great movie. I'm not saying it's a great movie. It's a stupid movie that somehow works because Barbara Stanwyck makes it work.
Okay.
Who's your number 4?
My number 4, this is nostalgic for me. It's a throwback to the Disney Channel. And that is, now preface this. There's witches in it. and I like it partially because they make the witches look like a bunch of doofuses.
Okay, I already know what movie this is.
All right.
It's I don't remember the name of the movie. I remember Bette Midler is in it. I remember that Sarah Jessica Parker's in it. Tell me the name.
Hocus Pocus.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hocus Pocus.
Right.
It still holds up. It's a good movie.
Sarah Jessica Parker is dumb in that movie, right? She's the dumb one.
Yeah, she's the dumb one. But
Wonderful.
But
Just
they're
wonderful.
all kind of dumb.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
They all are. So
Yeah.
it's kind of, I don't know. It's scary elements. It's all based on Halloween, but I don't know. It's entertaining. It's something that I watched it with my wife last year.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if she had watched it before and she enjoyed it. So at least that's what she told me.
It's good.
That she enjoyed it. Yeah.
All right. Am I on number 3? Because I have forgotten 2 of my 5 movies. I'm having a panic
Well,
attack.
before we
Like
get
I'm
to-
literally having a little bit of a panic attack. Like I'm having trouble breathing right now.
Before we get to that,
Yeah.
people have no idea who you are.
Oh, who my costume is?
Your costume is.
Oh my gosh, it's so obvious, people. Get it together. Can I give them a hint?
You can give them a hint.
Think Marvel Universe. Think Marvel Universe, okay? I'm someone from the Marvel Universe. That's a fair hint, don't
All
you
right.
think?
Yeah. We'll reveal
see if
after the next ones.
It's going to be so obvious when they find it out. Did I do my number 3 yet? Because I remember my number 3, but I don't remember my number 2 and number 1.
Stunna also guessed the movie that I my number 4 pick.
Hocus Pocus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stunna guessed it. Good job, Stunna.
Yeah.
Stunna.
I'm sorry that I don't remember the third lady's name.
I don't
but
remember any of their
She's
names.
wonderful too. They're all. But,
All right, now
but
tell
Sarah
me-
Jessica Parker, dumb is funny. I don't know why it's just funny.
Hocus Pocus 2 is no good. Don't watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly willing to not watch it. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that advice.
All right, number 3 of your non-scary.
I don't know if
non-Halloween
this has
movie.
anything to do with Halloween at
Okay.
all. It's a little movie that came out, I think, right after I came out of high school. Big Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray fan. Loved the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
That's a Halloween movie.
Is it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's got ghosts in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it falls into the genre, I would say.
I literally am completely blank on what my top 2 movies were, though.
Keep thinking. Let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I've never watched it.
You've never watched
I've never
Ghostbusters?
watched Ghostbusters.
Well, who are you going to call then?
Nobody apparently.
You've literally got nobody to call. Yeah.
So there's tons of remakes though. There's I remember there was one
Oh,
that
yeah,
they made
yeah.
a few years ago with the all-female cast.
Right.
And then there's one that they made.
I don't know why that
with
movie
the-
was so bad. Like that movie did not work at all. I'm not exactly sure why. People were like, "Oh, because people don't like women," and it had nothing to do with that. The movie just didn't work. I'm not sure why.
And then you had another remake with, I think Bill Murray was in it, but it starred a lot of the kids that were in Stranger Things. You got him?
Jamie guessed it online. I was gonna say Peter
No
Parker
way.
for size costume, but it seems so far out of the park. No, you nailed it. I'm Peter Parker. Look at this.
You know
I'm Peter-
what?
Not Spider-Man. Peter Parker.
Just for that, I think she deserves a book.
How do we give her a book though? How we give her-
Jamie, send me an email, radio@catholic.com.
Radio@catholic.com, Jamie. Send us an email.
Send me your address, and then I'll give you a book. Mr. B says,
He says I think Cy is Edgar. That's funny.
"Come on, man, I don't look that bad."
Jamie, that was nicely done. Nicely done. Of course I'm Peter Parker. Look at this. Now, Jeff did say before we came on the air,
Yeah.
are you like some kind of old Peter Parker from the Spider-Verse? I was like, shut up,
It's
Jeff.
not. It's not
Nobody
Peter
likes,
B. Parker. It's Peter C. Parker.
Nobody likes you, Jeff. Peter Parker. Yep, that's right, Mr. B.
You got it.
All right. I feel terrible that I can't remember my first 2. We might just have to go with yours from here. I'm really glad that I got to recommend Lady Eve, though, and to talk about my utter infatuation with Barbara Stanwyck.
Stunna said, "Bro is dressed like my uncles at my niece's soccer game. No disrespect."
What's wrong with the... I don't know your uncles. That doesn't hurt my feelings.
It seemed very kind.
I don't care about your uncle. Like, is that like saying, what's the thing they say to boomers? Oh, yeah, boomer. Or,
Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer. Is that like saying that? Is that what he's saying?
I guess that's, yeah. Why not?
I know, it doesn't bother me when people say, okay, boomer. I feel like they're agreeing with me, so okay, I'm fine, whatever.
All right. You gave me your number 3.
What if I can't think of my number 1 and 2 though? Like, I feel terrible about this. Go ahead, you go. You got to give your number 3.
All right. My number 3.
Yeah.
Classic. Signs.
Oh, I like the movie Signs. Yeah,
That's a good movie.
I didn't understand it the first time. I didn't understand it. Like, it took me a while to get. Like,
If you haven't seen it, I don't care about spoilers. Like, you had enough time to watch it at this point. That scene.
Mel Gibson did it. No, not really.
That scene with the alien where you actually see him. It's still.
Oh my gosh!
It's so frightening.
It's one of the best. Oh, it's so good. M. Night Shyamalan. I don't know how long he took. I would like to see the behind the scenes on how long it took to get that shot right and to edit it. It's one of the best jump scares. Do you know the one we're talking about? It's one of the best jump scares in film. And I admit I don't know all the jump scares because I'm not really into scary movies, but it's brilliant. It's so well
again,
done.
It's one of those movies to this day still holds up in that jump scare.
Yeah.
It'll
and
still
Joaquin
get you.
Phoenix, like losing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my number.
Could you
3.
do your number 2 and number 1, and I'll try to think of my number 2 and number
All right,
1
so
because
let me-
I feel
let me
like I
give
really
you-
wanted to have good Halloween movies. Oh, I remember one of them.
Okay.
I remember my number 1. It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That'll be my number 2 now because I didn't mean
It's
to
a
skip.
great pump. The Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
yeah.
that's acceptable.
It's wonderful.
That's good.
I love the early Charlie Brown things are just great. I mean, the Christmas special is clearly just one of the best specials ever made for TV. But it's Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is. Watch it with your kids. It's really sweet. It's
Okay.
really sweet. And waiting for the Great Pumpkin. That's what we're all doing, I guess. We're all waiting for Godot.
That's what we're doing. All right.
It's like waiting for Godot, but for children.
I
That's
have
what
no idea what that means.
Okay. All right.
Okay, boomer.
All right.
Okay, so there you gave me your number 2. My number 2, I gotta find it. Not sure if you've seen this movie, and I have to give a disclaimer because it is a rated R movie.
Okay, Gen Zer.
See,
I don't know if that's right, but
it's the movie Nope.
Nope, I've heard of.
It's
And
intense, and it's scary. Yeah.
Is it a play on the? Is the title of this? And I hope this does not come out as any kind of racial bias, but there's a kind
As he
of
prefaces it to
no, but there's a kind of thing I can't say it.
Say it.
Is it really? Because there's like a trope almost of Black Americans watching anything scary and being like, nope. Like, is that, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Is it a trope
but yeah.
on? Is it a play on that trope? Nope.
I don't know, but all I know is that is it Jordan Peele? I think is the
Jordan
director?
Peele, yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal when it comes to psychological thrillers. He makes some. Really,
I watched one of his movies and I was annoyed by it.
Okay,
But maybe you're supposed to be annoyed by it. I don't know.
Maybe.
But nope. What's it about?
so, gosh, I can't even remember now. It's so things are disappearing. I think that's the premise of the story.
You can't remember the premise of your own
can't
movie
remember.
that you chose as number 2 movie all time for Halloween.
I know that's how scary it was. It's basically an alien, sinister kind of movie. Like there's like an alien in the sky, and it's doing some nefarious things.
No.
And it's kind of the unraveling. So it's the
See,
character.
if it's got aliens in it, I might watch it.
Yeah,
I thought it was a ghost movie or something.
No, yeah, it's about aliens, and this guy, he owns a farm, and
That's which if you own a farm, that's where the aliens are
that's
going.
where the aliens go.
Right.
So it's actually really cool how they did it. So it's a definitely a different take on aliens, and I think that's one of the things I really appreciated about it.
I feel like there's something wrong with a person who thinks a ghost movie, nah. Alien movie, yeah. Like,
Why?
what's the difference? They're just odd creatures. Like, why do you prefer one kind of odd creature to another kind of odd creature? What's wrong with me, Edgar? What's the matter with me?
There's a few things.
All right, so that was your number 2. I am so sad that I can't remember my number 1 movie. I don't remember. Oh, I'll just substitute. I'll substitute Jeff's movie because it's better than anything I thought of anyway.
Before we get to that,
Yes.
Xenia wants to know if I know the reason why pirates wear a patch over one eye. Yes, Xenia, I do know.
I know it too.
It's because in order when they would go down, what's under deck or whatever you want to call it, they would.
Nope.
That's the reason.
Nope. Okay, go ahead.
Isn't that the reason? So they would cover one eye to be able to go down and see, so their eyes kind of adjusted, and they would switch eye or something to that effect to be able to be adjusted to the sunlight. Am I wrong on this? Both of you guys are looking at me like I'm weird.
No, this is a 4th grade question that she's asking.
Thank you, Mr. B. Mr. B said pirates wear an eye patch so they can go below deck, and the patched eye will be able to see. What's your reason?
Because if they wore 2 eye patches, they wouldn't be able to see. That's
Okay.
the obvious
All
4th
right,
grade
all
student
right.
answer. Like,
You were making me.
was I right, Xenia? Tell me if I was right. I believe she was doing the 4th grader question. But
Okay. All right, now give me your number one.
I can't. Oh, I can, yes, because replacing
taking
my
that.
former number 1, which was so unremarkable that I have forgotten it, I got a thrill. You know how that thing happens where somebody says something or you smell something and you're right back in your childhood?
Yep.
I got that frisson. I got... Okay, boomer. When Jeff mentioned the movie starring Peter Ustinov, Blackbeard's Ghost from 1968, Walt Disney Company. A truly wonderful movie for a child to see. And it brought me right back to sitting on the floor in my grandmother's house in Cape Cod watching Wonderful World of Disney. Just brought me right back. A great movie. And have you shown it to your kids? This is one of the strategies of parenting today, right? That you can get these movies from the 1960s, my kids would not watch black and white. I don't know why. My mother, excuse me, Freud, my wife tried to show them Lassie one time, and there was almost a murder committed in our home, like the all black and white thing. But if you can get movies in color, you can get like The Computer That Wore Tennis Shoes, or you can get Flubber or Son of Flubber, or you can get this great movie, Blackbeard's Ghost. I don't remember the guy's name. Dean something was in all those Disney movies.
Dean Jones.
Dean Jones. And Suzanne Plachette was in that. And just all wonderful for children, for families. It's just great. So that's, Jeff, thank you. You've given me my number 1 Halloween movie, Blackbeard's Ghost, with the great Peter Ustinov. Sometimes visible, sometimes invisible, but always great.
Okay.
What's
I
yours?
think the majority of the movies you named, I've never either seen or heard of.
Well, one of them was in black and white, and you feel that that's some kind of sin to watch a movie. You know, some of the best movies ever made are in black and white. I mean,
Okay,
truly great movies.
I'm discovering that. My mentor told me that he always gives me a list of things that I need to either read or watch.
Their mic is open.
And he mentioned Harvey.
Oh, Harvey. Yeah, it's a classic. You got to watch it.
I hadn't seen it until a few
That's
years
a
ago.
weird movie, too. Like, really, that's a weird
Yeah,
movie.
it is. It's interesting, though.
It's about spirits, so it could be a Halloween movie.
Well, that's not on my list, but I just had to mention it. Can I give you my honorable mention? Because I have one honorable mention.
Yeah, and then you're going to give me your number
And
one?
then I'll give you my number one.
Okay, your
All
honorable
right.
mention
My
is?
honorable mention is a movie called Odd Thomas. And no, not that Thomas.
I have heard about Odd Thomas, and people like it, and I've never seen it.
Apparently, the author is Catholic from the books. Now, so the story is there's a guy. His name is literally Odd Thomas because his name was supposed to be Todd Thomas, but they did something that mixed up on his birth certificate where they forgot the T or something to that effect. So his name is Odd Thomas. He has a special gift where he can see basically demons. They're creatures of not this world. He can see them crawling around, and whenever they're in an area, it's because something bad is going to happen. And so he sees them around bad people who have done committed horrible acts. Others, he sees them whenever something really horrific is going to happen. They kind of all convene together. Well, the premise of the movie is he's in this town, his hometown, and then he starts seeing more than he's ever seen in his life come together, meaning that something major, disastrous is going to happen in his town, and he needs to figure out what it is in order to prevent it.
He should call.
Ghostbusters.
Yes.
So that's my honorable mention. It's a really fun movie. Highly recommend it. So
Okay. All right. Odd Thomas. I have heard that people love that movie. Who's the actor in it? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Bad person to ask. Anton Yelchin,
Oh, I think he passed. I think Anton Yelchin was killed in an accident.
2016.
He was?
Yeah.
Yeah. God bless him.
Wow.
All right. So your number one then.
All right, my number one. And this is a movie that my wife and I watch every Halloween. Coco.
Oh, Coco.
Love Coco.
Do you really?
Yes, absolutely. The cultural side of the things obviously being them being in Mexico and Day of the Dead. It's semi-related.
Well, you have an
to
interest in
Catholicism.
Mexicans, or
just a little bit? Yeah,
Okay.
just a tad bit. Funny thing is, my family never celebrated Day of the Dead. The region where my family's from in Mexico don't celebrate Day of the Dead. Actually, I think it's becoming a more commercialized thing. It's more in like central southern Mexico where I think it's celebrated, more like the Mexico City area. But it's starting to become commercialized, and I think partially in part of Coco. So it's becoming more and more popular. Great movie, very fun. And then if you're of Mexican background and you know Mexican cultural context, there's a lot of really cool Easter eggs that you find in there. So he goes into the afterlife, which is where the dead are, and if you ever pay attention to the background characters, there's people from cinema from the past, Mexican cinema. So there's a guy named Santo, which was a luchador, and he wore a silver mask, and he's in the background in one of these movies. In the movie, Frida Kahlo's in it. You have there was a comedian who was very popular back in the day. His name is Cantinflas. So he's in it. Have you ever heard of him?
Of course, people my age have heard of Cantinflas.
Yeah, really?
He used to
Okay.
be on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Okay. What's that movie? A Journey Around the World or something like that? The black and white movie?
Around the World in 80 Days?
Something like that. He's in that movie.
I don't remember the movie. I think it was a British actor who was the lead actor, but yeah, okay. I'll buy that.
I think I think he's in it.
Didn't you call me Cantinflas one day? Didn't you?
Maybe I did. I don't know. So Coco, I highly recommend you
Beautiful.
watching it. It's such a fun movie.
Very good.
And the music is actually pretty good.
That's weird that our top movies were both Disney movies.
I know.
I apologize. I apologize to the people of the earth promoting Disney movies.
You know, Disney was good at one point.
Oh, I would say Disney is good at various points. Like,
Fair.
I mean, certainly, there was a time and that period from where their animation wasn't very good, from the late '60s to the mid '70s. Their live action stuff was just wonderful for kids. You can watch those movies with your kids now. You can, and they're great. But then sometimes their animation is good, sometimes not.
And
I mean, sometimes I think they're accused now of being kind of woke and even, I mean, woke is not necessarily a bad word, but even worse than woke, kind of.
there's political
Sexualizing children and that
political
kind of
messaging,
thing.
stuff like that
Yeah.
in there. Early Pixar was great. Toy Story, classic.
Oh yeah, Toy Story. Yeah, I remember Toy Story, but mostly what I did going to the movies in those days was fall asleep because if the kids were entertained, I could just sit there. And go, oh, looks like a good movie. Wake me up when it's over.
You know what's funny?
Dad,
That time,
Dad, I have to go to the bathroom. Dad, I have to go to the bathroom. Dad.
that time when you were falling asleep, I was the kid.
Yeah, right.
Because I think I'm your kid's age, aren't I?
I think you're about my kid's age. Maybe my oldest is 31, so you're a little older than
Yeah,
that.
a few years.
Yeah.
So there's the movies. There's our recommendations.
That was my.
You never found.
Thank you, Jeff.
And if you at some point remember your
My number one
your
movie?
number one, that's going to be your honorable mention.
And Jamie, you get a prize for
Yes.
figuring out that I'm Peter Parker.
Also, in the chat for Twitch and YouTube, write in your number one recommendation for Halloween movies. Just give
Did
us-
anybody do that? Will you look through? Because I got something I want to talk about.
Okay.
You could tell me if it's worth talking about while I'm talking about it. You
We
can
had one person
do
give us a
this.
5. Come on, wrap it up.
Wrap it up, dude.
Yeah, we did have some people give us some recommendations. Monster movies. Divine Mercy Catechetics said Universal monster movies. From
those were good,
31 to 56.
Yeah, like Boris Karloff and all those guys in those.
Yeah, something like that. He also gave us
Something like that. Okay, I'll go.
He also gave us his top 5. Divine Mercy Catechetics. Number 1, The Exorcist. Number 2, Dracula. Number 3.
Wait, Dracula? Which Dracula? Because there's been a million Draculas. Maybe he means the Universal one.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
3, The Wolfman.
Ooh, scary. That's
4,
good, but it's
Halloween.
Halloween. I've never seen it, but I know what he's talking about. Yeah,
And number 5, The Exorcist 3.
never saw that. I guess The Exorcist 2 kind of bit because you
If you skipped it.
like 1 and 3.
All right, so give us your number 1 recommendation in the chat.
Exorcist 2, the Return of the Empire, or Empire Strikes Back. That wasn't so good. All right, I wanted to talk about something because I wanted to talk about this with the flannel panel yesterday, and I don't think we ever got to it. It was one of the options that I gave them, but we never got to it. Washington Post reporting yesterday. Look, everybody knows about the Mississippi Miracle. If you don't know about the Mississippi Miracle, well, I don't know, maybe you're not here in the United States. If you don't know about the Mississippi Miracle, Mississippi per capita, I think, poorest state in the United States. I might be off by 1 or 2 states, but Mississippi, not a wealthy state. The Mississippi Miracle is that Mississippi schools, when everybody's scores were going down, COVID year and after COVID, everybody's scores were going down, Mississippi's scores were going up. And it was so noticeable that people started to call it the Mississippi Miracle and then started to pay attention. What is Mississippi doing that, say, California is not doing? Because California is going in the... Can I do sound effects? Is that allowed?
Sure. We don't have them yet, but yeah.
Okay, so this is what they found out. Mississippi was teaching phonics, and they were doing all these other things that were like old-timey teaching. They went back to old-timey teaching, and one of the things is phonics. Like, since the beginning of the English language, we've been teaching people to read by using the sounded out method because we're an alphabetic language where you can produce the sounds just by looking at the letters. You know, we're not a pictographic language. So an alphabetic language, the easiest way to do it, sound it out. What do you think that sounds like? And so, st, up, stop, st, up, stop. Okay, you guys are looking at me with a blank.
That's how I learned.
I'm doing the Electric Company TV show from the 1970s. Neither of you knew that I was doing that.
70s?
I used to
about
watch that
70s?
show. As a matter of fact, I got in trouble once because my grades were bad, and I wasn't allowed to watch Speed Racer until the next. They wouldn't let me watch. I had to watch. The only show I was allowed to watch was Electric Company. Do you know how horrible it is to tell a second grader you can't watch Speed Racer in the afternoon? It was, and my brothers were allowed to watch it. I had to go into my parents' room and watch Electric Company.
Welcome to therapy. That's what I tell it.
Yeah. I'm still mad at my parents. I'm still mad at. No, I'm not mad at them about it, but that you know of. Okay, so Mississippi got back to basics, and yesterday there was an article in the Washington Post that the state of California is giving up on all of the fancy pants, newfangled reading education, and they're going back to teaching phonics. That's going to be the state policy here in California. And this is not a regression to a more benighted time. This is evidence-based, and sometimes this is how human beings are. The thing that obviously looks like it will work, we still need someone to prove to us that it's going to work because we want to try. Just think of Naaman, right? You didn't know I was going to talk about Naaman here. But Naaman goes to the prophet and he says, I've heard you're a holy man. Cure me of my leprosy. And the prophet says to him, go rinse off in the Jordan River and you'll be cured. Does Naaman go and rinse off in the Jordan River? No, he gets mad because that's too simple. He needs it to be more fancy. I need you to do rituals. I need you to light some candles. I need some invocations. I'm going to need some liturgical dancing. Who's got a leotard? Let's go. And none of that is what was going to heal Naaman. What was going to heal Naaman is obey God. Go down and just trust in God. Go down and wash in the Jordan River. And then when you come out, you will be cured of your leprosy. Well, I won't go into the whole story, but it ends with Naaman cured because he just does the thing that the prophet tells him to do. But we're not like that. We think it's got to be something fancier. I think this gets us into trouble in a lot of ways. I'm going to give you 2 examples. I don't think you're going to like them. Weddings and birthdays. They've gotten a little bit out of control. My wife says, I probably shouldn't quote my wife because this is something private that she says to me, but I don't think she'll mind if she says, Pinterest ruined weddings because every bride feels unbelievable pressure to have the correct sconces and the edible plates, or I don't even know what kind of stuff that they're doing. All this, we need a gorilla at the wedding. Everyone's having gorillas at the weddings, and that kind of thing. And so you spend these great or kids' birthday parties. Do you know what kids' birthday parties were when I was a kid? It was a party. It was fun. You had cake. There was pin the tail on the donkey, which I don't know how that became the primary game of birthdays, but somehow it did. You ran around and threw things at each other. I mean, and it was fun. Like you were a kid, you're supposed to. Well, now the parents, instead of letting the kids have a party, it's got to be bigger and grander and I'll tell you one of the problems with the kid's birthday party is if you give the kid a birthday party fit for a Roman emperor, what you are raising is a child who will never be satisfied later in life because they were treated like a Roman emperor as a child. They're never going to be satisfied later in life. Now, well, you look like you're going to say something. What are you going to defend?
No,
birthdays?
It really goes to show.
I know you had a gorilla at your wedding. I apologize.
I didn't have a gorilla at the wedding.
Okay.
It was a pig. Couldn't afford the gorilla.
We had a pig. But we put a fur coat on him.
So this really is interesting because you can see this phenomenon online. You scroll through reels and you find videos of parents giving their kids like a Mercedes for like their 16th birthday.
Yep. They're guaranteeing an unhappy life for that
and
kid.
They're like,
that's
and
never
they
going to
say,
be a happy
I wanted
kid.
a BMW.
Oh, Lord.
I wanted a BMW. Why'd you give me a Mercedes? And they're angry and upset about it. And it's like, what have you done to your child to where they feel like they're entitled to not just...
That's so sad because that kid didn't do that.
Yeah.
That kid didn't do that. But that kid is going to be a horrible person for the rest of their life. I mean, it's just going to make wait staff and people who work in hotels and everybody miserable for the rest of their life because they believe they are entitled to something. And creating an entitled child is a way to make thousands of people miserable for the rest of that child's life. That's what you've done when you do that. I wanted to get around to this, though, because I realize I rant a little bit about some things, but this is actually true in the spiritual life, that people think that the new and the fancy is better than the old and the boring, and the old and the boring is better. And I want to give an example. In recent years, an absolutely insane spiritual practice has grown up. It's in the church, it's in the secular world, it's everywhere, of putting it out into the universe. And this power of positive thinking, which has become the secret. For a while it was called the secret, and now we're just putting things out into the universe. And these are spiritual practices that are not going to do you any good, but they have a certain kind of newness flavor to them, that there's a sense of this is the thing, this is the spiritual teaching. And if you did the old and the boring, if you stayed away from, it's like, look, just like the phonics works in teaching reading, in the spiritual life, the basics work. And nobody's going to come up with anything better. And so, look, the basics are so simple. Love God, love your neighbor. That's the simplest expression of the spiritual life. Love God, love your neighbor. Well, you know what's going to happen? You're going to go, I'm not really good at loving God and loving my neighbor. Okay, that's where Jesus said, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Why does he say that? Because the point is, you cannot be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. So he gave you a whole set of things that will make you perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. And he called them, well, he didn't call them. They are called mysteries, or now in the modern world, sacraments. So the sacramental life of the church is this old, boring way. It's like Naaman going down into the water of the Jordan River. I might go, look, I'm getting nothing out of Mass. Naaman got nothing out of going down into the Jordan River. That's the point is not that Nathan got something out of it. The point is that's where God said the grace is, and what you need is grace. That's where God said the healing is, and what you need is healing. So you go, I don't really get anything out of going to Mass. Really? because God didn't say it's going to be a great show. It's going to be as good as watching what's Joel Osteen on TV tell you that you just need to think that Jesus is going to give it to you, and Jesus is a ATM machine that'll give it to you. It's none of that. It's super basic. Just do what God told you to do. The basic things. Go to confession. I mean, first of all, get baptized. Go to confession when you need. Avail yourself of the Eucharist. Pray your prayers. Jesus, I don't know how to pray. Yes, you do. Jesus was extremely clear about how you pray. You do it like this. Our Father, who art in heaven. They literally asked him, teach us to pray. And he literally told them a simple prayer to say, well, I don't get anything out of it. I get a lot more out of it when I put things out into the universe. Okay, Naaman. Okay, state of California. That's what you are when you're doing that. Do the basic thing. It's phonics. Do spiritual phonics rather than whatever the glamorous, fascinating, shiny new spiritual thing is. What we need, spiritual phonics. And here's the basic spiritual phonics. Baptism, confirmation, a life of prayer, charity, confession, and communion. That's the phonics. You will be amazed at how far that will take you. Amazed at how far that will take you. Not because you're so great at it, but because just like Naaman, that's where God said it's at. Go where God said it's at. All right? Do some spiritual phonics. That's what we need. Spiritual phonics.
Spiritual phonics.
That's what I came up with today. Spiritual phonics.
I like it. I think more people know. It really is so easy to want to complicate things. Have you noticed that I know I do this. I don't know if you do this, especially for Lent when it's supposed to be a stripping down, simpling things down. I want to go all out and do so many things. I overcomplicate.
I've done it so many times,
my
Edgar.
Simple devotion to God.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd probably be better off doing one simple thing that's somewhat difficult.
Yeah.
Like like what if you did this? I'm going to talk to one poor person every day of Lent. That's so basic, and and then maybe you're talking to them, so maybe you'll buy them a lunch or you'll give them a gift card to Kohl's. Is that a thing? Do people give out?
Maybe Ross. I don't know.
What do you think if they have a gift card to Kohl's? But you know what I'm saying? Like, if we would just go do the basic thing. I agree with you, because I remember one Lent, I made a list of all the things I was doing that Lent. It was terrible. It was stupid. That's not what Jesus asked me to do. That's not what this is about.
Because there's so many simple things that you could do that actually can make you go deeper in your faith. That it's not like I have to pray, all 12 decades of the Rosary, and then I have to do the Chapel of Divine Mercy, and I'm going to do all 5 liturgy, five times praying, liturgy of the hours. Is it 5? Maybe it's more. I don't know.
Wait, there's 20 decades of the.
20 decades of the Rosary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, is that what I said?
No, you sound like me now. Just throwing out random numbers that are not related to.
I misspoke.
90% of 40% of people say that 30% of the time this works.
But you know what I mean? It's like you don't have to overcomplicate it. Start with one thing. It's that simple.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. But do it like Mother Teresa used to say: do small things with great love.
Yeah,
right. Like
there was one Lent that God bless my wife. She's just so great, and she has a heart to serve. Great. I am the kind of person that wants to teach. I like apologetics. I like educating. Thus, being a teacher for 3 years, and educating people, talking to people, having conversations with people. She's the kind of person that will go out, buy a pack of granola bars and a bunch of water and walk around town in Sacramento when it's 110 degrees out and give it to the homeless. And one summer, she said, hey, it was one of our dates. We went out, and it was one of the most uncomfortable things that I ever did, but it just made me it was extremely humbling. It made me appreciate the person that she is and what it actually means to live out the call of Jesus, because sometimes you got to step outside your comfort zone to serve.
Right. But that's like, the thing is, people could do that. Now, I know that there are some people who are afraid. They're afraid of us. And everybody's different. Everybody's, or maybe they're not that mobile. So the thing could be different. And everybody, like, you wouldn't believe how easy it is to be one of the people who takes communion to the sick on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I know people in this building who do it. I'm not naming them, but I know people in this building who do it, who, it's not even every Sunday. I think it's every other Sunday. But just bring communion to the sick. That's a huge thing. That's like, you don't have to complicate this and make it some kind of, I don't know, fancy pants thing. Prayer, keep it simple. The sacramental life is the phonics of the spiritual life. Just do your phonics. And then, but like you said, like that, it's not that complicated what Lena did. That's not super complicated. She didn't have to apply for a grant or anything. She got some granola bars, paid or stole them. Paid for them or stole them?
Paid for them, yeah.
She paid for them, okay. And then she got some waters, and she went out, made people happier, made people healthier, took care of some people on really hot days in Sacramento, which is like hell.
Well,
it's like hell.
Oh, wow.
Sacramento's like hell.
Only
for us Southern Californians.
Only within the walls of the Capitol.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think of my new phrase that I have? It's going to be the title of my new book, Spiritual Phonics.
Spiritual phonics.
If you remember that,
I'm sure Todd will be so happy.
What is this stupid book about?
All right, to the comments we go. Let's see. We had people.
Have we got any good comments?
Well, we asked for favorite scary movies. Tyler Rudder said, "As Above, So Below," my favorite scary movie.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of it. Have you?
I have heard of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've never seen it. No.
All right, and we have Helpful Hero says, "The Great Pumpkin," Charlie Brown, and Garfield Halloween Special.
Oh, I've never seen the Garfield one. I can fully endorse the Charlie Brown one, though.
Okay.
I can wholly recommend Blackbeard's Ghost, but Computer Who Wore Tennis Shoes has one reference, if I remember correctly, that you'd want to skip. Is that Jeff?
That's Jeff.
What? Like there's some kind of, in a Disney movie, there's some kind of dirty reference? Really? Oh, I don't.
There's a lot of those.
That movie I saw at Parks and Recreation in Carlsbad in the lunchroom of my elementary school. So that's a long time ago, Jeff. I probably didn't even get the reference.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
boomers.
might have missed it. It's one of those things, though. They'll put it in little things. Some of those movies in the 60s and 70s.
Well, Ghostbusters is probably. I mean, I recommended Ghostbusters, but there's probably all kinds of stuff in Ghostbusters. But I just don't remember it because I saw it a long, long time ago. But yeah, okay. With that, it's good to have those caveats, though. And I'm glad you said that because I'm sure Ghostbusters, Lady Eve doesn't.
I don't.
Do you remember the movie that was my first movie?
That was the
or
first
my
movie
second
that you
movie
mentioned,
I said.
yeah,
Yeah, and you're like this.
I
It's
blanked
probably
myself.
black and white. It's totally black and white.
Yeah, it probably was. I think
All right.
not most of your movies.
All right. Anybody else got anything good
Nobody
on
else
there?
really gave us their movie recommendations.
Somebody said Go Speed Racer Go. The Big Stack said it. You are right. Go Speed Racer Go.
Raggedy Ann and Andy and the Pumpkin Who Couldn't Smile is my favorite. SL said that.
The Pumpkin Who Couldn't Smile. I don't know that. In the Pumpkin
In the-
Who Couldn't Smile. Don't know it, but all right.
Halloween
see.
movie? SL? What Halloween movie? The Halloween movie? The Halloween movies? Do you like any
No,
of
the
the
movie Halloween.
Isn't that like a
That's
slasher
what,
film?
That's what SL is saying. I don't know. I know of it, but isn't that the one with Jamie Lee Curtis in it?
I think
Is
so.
Halloween.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one?
Halloween.
I've never seen it.
You ever do you like those slasher movies? I've never been a fan of the slasher movies.
I kind of maybe have slasher movies and horror movies conflated in my mind a bit because no, I don't like
Slasher
I guess
movies
that's a
is
type. It's a subgenre of
I guess so, yeah. I mean, because
where people get
Halloween
chopped up and
Friday the
like
13th.
Saw or something where you saw your arm off. Or
That's gruesome.
first of
Yeah.
all, Mel Gibson already did that years ago in the movie Mad Max. The sawing your arm off thing. Mel Gibson invented that in Mad Max. Let's give some props to Mel.
Oh,
I
it all
don't
goes
need a
back to
full
Mel.
movie of that. I don't need I didn't even like Mad Max. It was too much for me.
Jamie said Silence of the Lambs is her favorite movie.
Do you like fava beans? Because it's strange to say this, but because everyone always references that movie, but fava beans are delicious. Like a fava bean salad actually is
What's
really
a fava
good.
bean?
He says that he wants to eat someone's liver with fava beans and a nice Chianti in that movie.
Nice Chianti. It doesn't. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. All right. Let's see. I was going to mention another one. There are a couple of movies that I like the lore behind them, but to sit through them, it's just kind of annoying. Are the Predator movies and the Alien movies? Because it's like that bloody kind of.
Alien to me is just a monster movie. It's a horror movie.
They are.
That's what it is.
But you know, there are actually comic books behind that. There's actually comic books behind all those.
Is that where it comes from?
Yeah, I mean they've built the lore behind it. So like the
I recently found out that all these movies have got, like, Superman was a comic book first, Spider-Man was a comic book first. I didn't.
You better know.
A lot
Parker.
of Peter Parker. Yeah.
Come on, Peter Parker.
With great responsibility comes great power. That's it.
Other way.
With small responsibility comes small power.
Gosh. Oh, I'm just gonna stop.
Stranger Things TV show. Somebody said, have not seen it. Lots of people have told me I would really like
The
it. But I haven't
problem
seen it.
problem with Stranger Things is that they took way too long to get the final season out because now all the kids are in their mid-20s.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's your complaint.
Yeah,
Finish it, man.
It's my complaint.
Don't ask me to help you with your
They just
complaint.
took too long. It's one of those shows that they took so many years to finally conclude it that nobody cares anymore. And that's Stranger Things. Nobody cares anymore. It's been way too long. It's been, 5 years? Maybe more, maybe less. It just doesn't matter anymore.
Anybody else?
Storyteller, Alien versus Predator, yes.
Well,
Thank you.
all right, we've already said the Alien movies, the Predator movies, so you went for Alien versus Predator.
There's a crossover. What else? That's all we got.
Was I going to do my other story, or
Did you want to? We have.
It's too late.
I'll
I'll tell you what. I could give you a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was interested in this story today, and I wanted to see what you thought about it.
Okay.
It was in the New York Post. It's a wildly popular newspaper now online, New York Post, because they do all. I mean, it's a little tabloidy. It's always been a tabloid.
Yeah.
So, but near-death experience study reveals that most common visions reveals the most common visions among survivors. What do you think is the most common thing people see in their near-death experience?
Loved ones and bright colors.
Jeff, what do you think? The most common thing people see in a near-death experience?
I'm gonna go with hell.
Who are you hanging out with? No, this is not Navy people. Oh, sorry. Just kidding, Jeff.
Wait, I don't
Jeff
think,
was
I
in
don't
the
think
Navy.
they can hear him.
You can't. They can't hear Jeff. Oh, did you go out?
Oh yeah, no, I'm plugged in.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
he said
cool.
hell.
All right, cool.
No, the most common thing people see is a light.
I thought that was a given.
Oh, you thought that was a given? Okay. It's one of most. This is the story by Adriana.
SL said a tunnel. That's
Diaz.
that's a good guess too.
Who said a tunnel?
SL.
Yeah, like the tunnel and the light kind of go together too, and then the train comes. It's one of humanity's most enduring mysteries, the reporter Adriana Diaz tells us. What happens when we die? Now, a new scientific investigation has taken a step closer to understanding what might lie beyond the grave, the Daily Mail reported. Researchers interviewed 48 people who had survived near-death experiences, asking them to describe and even sketch what they saw in their final moments. If I have a near-death experience, they better not ask me to sketch it, because they would be like, they'll be like, the other side is full of squiggly lines and stick people. Like that's, I am terrible at that. One recalled there were, their findings published in the paper now awaiting peer review reveal a wide range of experiences ranging from divine encounters to surreal, otherworldly journeys. One recalled, there were stone stairs on the left in front of me, and Jesus was toward the top wearing a white robe. Another said, God appeared as a great light in the distance. Others reported, this is what's interesting to me, how it's all so different. Others reported experiences that defied any traditional religious framework. One person claimed to have seen a black hole, while another described a cosmic matrix made up of many grid points, all connecting in multiple dimensions. One person claimed to have seen, I missed something. Another participant described an angel with exquisite white wings, the feathers incredibly detailed and layered into one another, and a face like that of a Greek god. Does that make you think like some of this might be like the people who did this? They think this is the brain dying, and that's what's happening. Other people think no, this is the soul. Something's happening to the soul. Either way, I don't think people are seeing any of these things. I think these are images that the mind is creating to deal with something. That's why one person might see the Matrix and another person. It's not that the experience is not real. And I'm saying this as a complete amateur. I've done no study of this whatsoever. But I do think a lot of times we give our spiritual experiences, like even the saints have talked about, like, well, you'll hear somebody like, hell opened up before me. They have a vision of that. Well, then if they ask them, did you see hell open up before you? They say, no, my spirit sensed it. So that they'll describe it. Now, some people, of course, have visions. Other people, I think, are applying visionary imagery, either intentionally or unintentionally, onto things that are ultimately not visual. So I think that's part of what's going on.
Interesting. All right.
I don't know. But I was going to read some more of it to you, but we got to it late, so I don't want to get to it.
No worries. All right. Do you want to cut out so I can do my segment?
Have you seen me drinking tea?
I have seen you drink tea.
I'll be right back.
All right.
We should get Tom Nash in here with you. Oh, no, you got something to
No,
go?
I've decided to name the segment. It's called My 2 Cents.
I love it, Edgar.
Thank you, Sai. So, this is my 2 cents. Now you see me dressed up. I know I kind of look ridiculous. I got the weird dreads and I got the pirate costume, but that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Why? Because we're living in the world. We don't believe that we're solely spiritual beings and this physical life doesn't matter. I think it's important to appreciate this world and this life to an extent, everything through the lens of Christ. I have a lot of friends, and I'm sure you do too if you're listening, who are Catholic, who are so staunchly Catholic that there's a desire to want to reject everything of the world, that has nothing related to Jesus Christ, nothing related to the Catholic Church. They want nothing to do with that. And I understand that. I think it's a noble cause. But for me, there's something about being attracted to certain things of this world. When I was younger, I really enjoyed cars, classic cars, imports, all that stuff like that. I know there's a lot of people out there who enjoy smoking cigars, maybe like Matt Fradd and his crew. And there are people that enjoy sports. And that's a good thing because we're living in the world. And these things that we enjoy that bring us community can actually be forms of evangelization. Maybe there's a reason why God gives us that gift of wanting to enjoy certain things. I'll say it, we're Catholic. I enjoy having a drink with some friends on occasion. That's a form of community, but it's also an opportunity for evangelization to potentially people who may not be open to the Catholic faith. What if I'm hanging out with people who like cars. We're at a car show, and there's people who have never thought about Christ. Well, my interest in cars and this person's mutual interest in cars can be a door that opens up to talking about Christ. And if we live our life every day as Catholics, faithful to Jesus Christ, then people should see that light shining through us, whether we're talking about Jesus or not. It's like that quote that St. Francis never said. The quote he never said is, preach the gospel at all times and use words when necessary. Again, he never said it, or at least I think it's fairly obvious that he never said it. But there's something true to that whenever we're living our life in this world, watching our favorite football game, our favorite baseball game, going to car shows, or even enjoying food with friends and potentially new friends, it's an opportunity to evangelize. So it's okay not to want to steer away from enjoying these things as long as it's prudent and it's all geared in the right direction. So remember that when you're out there enjoying things that are not in your face Catholic, that are not particularly religious, but you're surrounded around people you probably wouldn't have been surrounded around before if you weren't involved there, that it's actually a good thing. So with that, that's just my 2 cents. Enjoy the things, your hobbies, and remember it's always an opportunity to evangelize. Just my 2 cents.
Hello and welcome to Catholic Answers Live. I am Cy Kellett, your host. I can't believe it's already Thursday afternoon. Am I right? Is it Thursday afternoon? Like, it's not a Wednesday. I'm not confused. It's Thursday afternoon. This week is going fast. We've had a lot of great, I guess the shows have just been fun. I must have been having fun because they say time flies when you're having fun. I think we've got a fun one for you today. Second hour